My guest this week is Jon Gabrus. Jon is a comedian, podcaster, and writer who just wrapped up 500 episodes of his long-running podcast, High and Mighty. He also co-hosted Raised by TV with Lauren Lapkus, created, wrote, and starred in the 30-episode audio series The Gino Lombardo Show as part of the comedy Bang Bang world, and currently hosts Action Boys with Ben Rogers and Ryan Stanger, as well as Staying Alive with Adam Pally. On TV, Jon can be seen starring in the Max Comedy Travelogue series 101 Places to Party Before You Die, and in Hulu's Drugstore June, opposite Esther Pavinsky and Bill Burr. And he's also appeared on Clean Slate, What We Do in the Shadows, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Happy Indians, and Workaholics. And on the big screen, Jon has appeared in Jay Roach's Bombshell with Charlize Theron, Justin Simeon's Bad Hair, as well as with Adam Devine in Game Over Man, and opposite Alison Brie and Dave Franco in The Little Hours. And it gives me great pleasure to welcome the Revolutions Per Movie, Jon Gabrus. Hi, Jon.
Hi, Chris. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, well, it's an absolute pleasure. Longtime fan. And congrats on wrapping up 500 episodes of High and Mighty.
Oh, yeah. That was quite a journey. And it's been, I miss it, but I'm happy to have one less thing to do each week and one less thing to promote, one less guest to make sure I book. You tried to schedule me for this, right? It's not easy. I'm fucking all over the place. I'm a spaz.
Well, from one spaz to another, I get it. But on the last episode, you're talking to your wife and saying you're looking forward to having more time now that you're winding down High and Mighty. And then it's like, oh, Gabrus Force Live, Action Boys, Staying Alive, High and Mighty Thanksgiving special. I'm just like, did you slow down at all?
No, I just filled my whatever little bit of time I had left. I filled it. I realize if I don't schedule the shit out of myself, my natural state is nothing.
Right.
So I kind of have to put a lot of stuff on my calendar and then be overwhelmed and then go fuck, when am I supposed to do Revolutions Per Movie? Oh shit, I got it. Oh no. I get FOMO. I don't like to miss things. And as much as every time I take some time for myself and don't do something, I'm like, well, that was relaxing and peaceful. I should keep that in mind going forward.
Yeah, I think I just need to be in motion. If that makes sense.
Yes. Especially with the career, where you're working in 25 different fields to make, you're making 3 figures a year in 25 different industries. You might as well yes. I got to fill my fucking days. And oh yeah, and from here I got to do that. Well, but it's exciting to me. I like the variance. I like the pace. I understand the needing to feel like you're in motion, needing movement, needing because you're not it's not like you're writing a book or recording an album and you're marking progress. It's just sort of you're just plowing through life and you're you never go I got to get to 500 episodes. You just start doing a podcast and then you're 9 years later, you're should I wrap this up ever?
Oh my God. Yeah. My brother the other day was so your Crispin Glover episode, I was oh, right. I talked to Crispin Glover. I just had forgotten,
Yeah, my version of that is I'm always yeah, blah. And I spew some fact and I'm wait a minute. No, actually, that was Eugene Cordero on my podcast. That's where I know that.
Right.
From. It's deep in my brain. I learned it generations ago. And it's no, not at all.
Well, and also, when you're on Comedy Bang Bang and you're creating, story on the spot. I don't even know how you hold it all together in your skull when you're okay, I'm going to show up this week and do, Gino or whatever. It's just I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, that's one of my superpowers. I think from years of doing long form improv in New York and LA, my body and brain are built for remembering the context in which we've arrived, which does make me good at conversations and at parties and stuff, but it's there, and long form comedy podcasts are the only places these skills really help.
Right. Well, speaking of places where people have 25 jobs that pay 3 figures, you visited Portland, Oregon on 100 Places to Party Before You Die.
Yeah.
Your partner Adam Pally was turning 40.
Uh-huh.
I loved that you went to the Realm Inn, which was right around the corner from where my video store was.
Oh, cool.
Strongest pours, the deepest fried chicken in the world.
Bro, I loved that place. We got in there at like 11 a.m. because we always had to shoot at like random hours to not like disturb a company's business.
Right?
Yeah, and it was full.
Yeah, exactly.
It was full of people. We bought rounds of Jägermeister shots for strangers, and everyone was game to do it. And it was like noon. It was fucking crazy. I really liked that place. I left when we went to leave and we opened the door and sunlight beamed in. It was like, oh fuck, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's definitely a place that's been lived in, and it just has its regulars. It's the kind of thing where people just all of a sudden you're like, somebody sat down and now we have their whole life story. Yeah. And it's been cool. It's never like, oh, well, this is ruining the mood. It's just, it fits the vibe of the place. If you're going in, that's what you're going to get.
It's charming. I have a Reel 'em In sticker on my luggage, and people, I'm very honored that I have that. I had such a good time there. That was one of my favorite places I've been in Portland. And, I've been a few times, and the other thing I really like is the prices in your dispensaries. They are very different. It would be if I'm trying to pace myself on cannabis more and more, but if I was at my peak smoking level, it would be cheaper for me to fly to buy a round trip flight to Portland and buy my weed there and fly back with it, because LA I couldn't believe the deals I was getting. It was such a treat. And it was all good stuff. It wasn't like I'm like finding like swag shit. It was all good stuff. And I was like, oh man, Oregon fucking rocks. I was just like,
wow, I had no idea that it was so cheap here.
Yeah, it's really good. And another thing I really liked about Portland, and this was like Adam Pally's theory in the show too, is that it's, anti-capitalism is so real. That's a good vibe. But then you do need to like engage with businesses in a modern American society. But it's really fun in Portland where you like go to a cafe and it's like closed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And you're like, what the fuck? But then you're also like, hell yeah, good for you guys. Like you have like this torn thing of like, I want a latte now. But also, I'm so glad you guys have a healthy work-life balance.
Yeah, it's pretty trippy. I mean, it's the kind of place where, I mean, I don't know how it is to open a business now, but like, when I opened my video store in '96, in a period where all video stores were going out of business, the landlord just threw
timing.
The landlord threw the keys at me and was like, "Good luck," and it was brilliant, And I had a neighborhood that, until the end, when it was, getting quiet, were just loyal, and it's just those weird little business districts, little oases in Portland, made things like that possible. But, it's so funny because, like, you have this show where you and Adam are sometimes, just wrecked.
Yeah. At times.
Around. Yeah.
We achieved that goal.
Yes, exactly. And then I just love that you moved into the health sphere with Staying Alive. And, I mean, the show's funny because it's like there's even a little bit of a precursor of like, don't follow any advice here on this show. This is just have a good listen. Like, how's that been?
It was court mandated. No, it was one of those things where it's like one of the facets of 101 Places to Party was we were in our early, he turns 40. I was already 40 when we were shooting. And it was like, this is a little old for like a follow us around and how we get fucked up kind of show. So a lot of it was like also we were doing things in the show like, oh, let's go into the sauna. But then we were also doing a lot of stuff outside the show of like, pass me the liquid IV, or like, we got to make sure we get 7 hours sleep. I need to exercise today. I'm getting depressed or whatever.
Right.
And then we realized we're like, oh, that shit's actually kind of important to us. And we started clocking that everyone, all our middle-aged comedy friends, we weren't even talking about comedy or anything anymore. We're all talking about like, I started fish oil, or like, have you guys done Pilates? It's like,
right.
And I'm realizing I'm like, oh, this is on a lot of people's minds. And I've been a lifelong meathead. I've been reading like Muscle and Fitness magazine since like 1994 because of Arnold and Sly and all those people I grew up on. So I'm always down to talk fitness and shit like that. And I've been a jock my whole life. And so as we got more and more into it, Adam and I started being like, we should do a podcast. We were going to maybe try to do a party podcast, but then we really started stumbling upon like this idea of like a health podcast hosted by unhealthy people. Yeah. And we were like, is there a funny health podcast? Is there a health? And so we were like, we don't know. So we leaned in and we're like, fuck it, let's go. And it's been really good for us. And it's funny, the people who followed us from the party show to this.
Yes.
And it's like, it's not a huge overlap. They're just kind of the fans of us who would watch or listen to whatever. And it's very fucking cool to be like, someone's like, I listen to this while I run. We did an episode about running with Randall Park, and we were just like, hey, if anyone listens to this show while running, please chime in on this Instagram. And then all of a sudden we had like 60 comments that were like, yeah, I listen when you run. I look forward to my Thursday runs because I'll have you guys in my ear. And I'm like, whoa, that's not ever where I would imagine Adam and I would have ended up, myself or him, separate or together. And so to be here in this moment where we're like, wow, and I will cop to, it's changing me a little bit too. It's making me be more conscious because I'm like, I can't be like this. I got talked into GLP-1s by doctors that we've had on, and Adam and other guests and stuff, and guests who've been on it. And I'm like, I wasn't going to do it. And now I've recently started. I'm too early to know how good it is for me yet, but it's been a growing. I needed this at this point in my life. You know what I mean? Sure. Like I was like, I would have liked to have done 101 episodes of that show instead, because that would have been a fucking good time. I love traveling, but at the same time, I think this came at the right time. Kind of like a guardian angel somewhere was like, why don't we get this guy on trending towards healthy a little bit at this point in his life?
Yeah, you don't want to like get to episode 82 of 101 and be like, ooh, that's a different turn here. So we only made 82.
Yeah, exactly right. Like, in between this season, you have to go to like a fat camp or a health camp. Like, we have to put you in like a Bacta tank for 9 months.
Right. Well, what is one of the weirdest things that has been supplied to you on this show in terms of wisdom?
It's actually not weirdest, but it's burned into my bones. My Action Boys co-host did an episode, and we've always talked about fitness a lot, Ryan Stanger. Mm-hmm. But on his episode, he just hit us with like, something's always better than nothing. And I can't believe, like, it's so dumb. I never thought of that.
Right.
It's so easy to go like, what am I going to do? Exercise for 10 minutes? No, I need like an hour and a half to exercise. Right. And then you just you do 0 instead. And I'm like, well, if I did 10 minutes the last 10 days I did 0, I would have had 100 minutes of exercise under my belt. Yes, it's not ideal, but it's truly, something is better than nothing, objectively, in the fitness. You know what I mean? And making a small healthy choice is better than no healthy. And so like, because I think I used to have like this, perfect is the obstruction of progress or whatever, and where you're like, I need to get to the gym, and I need to do an hour, and I need to squat, I need to do cardio, also I need to do all, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I ended up not doing anything because I built up too much what I had to do. And
sure.
So I wouldn't say it's like the weirdest, but it's funny how simple of advice can just really be like, I can't believe I hadn't really considered that. Like, and now I'm trying to like apply that to everything, like the creative process. I'm like, okay, it's time to sit down and write a movie. And I'm like, well, why don't you start with a page? Like, and if you do a 1 page, 100 days in a row, you will have a movie. But if you sit down every day and go, if I don't write 100 pages, I'm going to kill myself, you're not going to get a movie.
Well, why don't we stop here and book this show in a week, and then the week after we'll just do 10 minutes at a time and we'll build it all together.
Yeah, that would be so much easier. Scheduling wise, that would be great for both of us. Let's do Thursdays, 11:30 a.m. to 11:40 a.m. We just quickly, and in School of Rock, we just talk super fast to get it in, and then we cut and we jump back.
You mentioned Action Boys, and before we get to your the film that you picked today, School of Rock, I did want to ask about if you are aware of a good action film that is also music based.
I was trying to come up with this for my episode for this show.
Sure.
The best bet, I think, and it's hard to say music based, but I would say the movie Miami Connection.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's like a ninja martial arts movie, but they are a band called Dragon Sound, and they do play some really fucking cool originals.
Yeah, that is an amazing film. Like, it's just, those films where people showed up every day, they did their job, and you're like, they made a film.
Yeah, and that's when you like. I watched one of my favorite movies last night, American Movie, which is I watch it like once a year to inspire me because I find Mark and Mike Shank and all those freaks to be like, I'm like, I watching it last night. There's like a line where one of the characters is like, "Well, I didn't know he was working on this movie for like 6 years, and now it feels like we're never going to finish it, but." He's got vision and he's really trying hard. So, it's inspiring. And I'm like, fuck, dude, these guys are just like caught up in the art of it. And it's like, and they're in, bumblefuck Wisconsin in the mid 90s. And they're just trying and they've got no fucking resources and they're pulling off a movie. And then when you like see the final product, you're like, this looks pretty fucking good, Mark. And all of a sudden you're like, and I find it to be so inspirational. And, Miami Connection clearly made by someone with a love of that genre of movie but not maybe a full sense of like how story and narrative work, but you don't care. You're just so excited to see something so pure and like ripped from someone's fucking soul. And I love that movie.
I remember I ordered Coven directly from Mark and he would sign a VHS copy. And when American Movie, come out and all this buzz around like, oh, will you bring that film in? And I did. And then, of course, I'd be like, I have Coven. And everyone's like, nah, I'm good. Like, no one wanted to see it.
Yeah, of course. I own it on VHS as well, autographed by Mark. Yes. I got it that way too. And I told him in the email. I told Mark Borchardt assistant email, which is clearly him.
Yes.
I said to him, I'm like, I watch your movie whenever I need inspiration or I'm feeling down about the creative process. Like, it's truly inspiring to me. And I think he took it as like, because like he's like, keep working hard, Gabrus, or whatever. And I was like, I like was ready to like cry when I opened up my fucking thing. It's proudly displayed on my DVD shelf.
Oh, it's
That's
amazing.
Right. Physical media, bitch.
That's right. And I would say, have you heard of a film called Stunt Rock, an Australian film?
No.
Okay. Put it in your queue for Action Boys, Stunt Rock. It's amazing. Imagine the film FX or Stuntman combined with like heavy metal Australian rock.
I'm on board.
Okay.
I'm on fucking board. That sounds awesome.
Okay, that's my gift to you.
I thank you. I was going to ask you. My follow-up question was going to be: Do you have any other?
Stunt rock
action music movies? Okay, Stunt Rock. We'll check it out. That's awesome.
Well, you brought in today School of Rock, 2003. I mean, it's so funny. Like, I forget this is a Richard Linkletter film.
I didn't even know it was. That's so crazy.
Yeah, it's Richard Linkletter. Like, it's written by Mike White. Obviously, you did like White Lotus, Chuck and Buck, Good Girl, Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I can do this too. I can be kind of sweet. It's just like the combination of elements just even before they're starting to create this is just, it's kind of an awesome combination.
It feels like a throwback movie. I mean, we are throwing it. We're not young gentlemen here, so it's technically for anyone. It is a throwback to 03, but to me, I was 21, 22 then,
right.
So it didn't feel. But it feels like a teacher motivational movie. Like you don't get a lot of those anymore, and it's like Jack Black in maybe the perfect role for him ever in his entire I've never been a better designed role for the guy, and it's so fucking charming. It's so charming, and it says a lot about art and maybe arguably education too. And again, that's the Linklater, Mike White of it all, where you're just like it's made by artists and. The only thing that doesn't hold up is that like Sarah Silverman being a bitch is like the only thing that's like this is like kind of an annoying and tropey thing. But other than that, the movie it could come out today. Like and change is not. Yeah, and it's like even like because it's like no, rock and roll is something cool from the past. You need to blah blah blah. And the reason I picked it was I loved this movie when it came out. Of course, I've been getting compared to Jack Black my entire life. But I was like, I've been meaning to rewatch this, and I was in the mood for something that would like lift my spirits. Because I remembered being absolutely charmed by this film when I saw it in the theater. And then I watched it just this morning, and it fucking sings, pun intended. It fucking
Yeah.
I was so happy the whole time.
Yeah, out of the gate.
Yeah.
I mean, it just knows how like to start a film. Like they're like, the first time you see Jack Black in the film, you're sold. He's so hypnotic. And
Yeah.
what was the first things that you saw Jack Black in?
It would be Cable Guy, which is like my favorite movie growing up, and it was on. It happened.
I saw it in the theater opening day.
Oh, I describe it as it must have been on HBO every time there was a free HBO trial weekend in my house, because we never had it growing up.
Right.
But whenever we had HBO, we would just watch whatever movies. We just have it on all weekend long. So, and Cable Guy was on all the time. Bingo, my three sons. Like, I just remember so many of Jack's reads from that movie because, like, and I didn't even know who he was. Like, I didn't recognize who he was, and then I would eventually get into Tenacious D in college and fall in love with that musical comedy of him and Kyle.
Yeah.
But I never he's an Enemy of the State. He's the chopper pilot in Waterworld. He's got some small some small parts, but in I think maybe this was potentially the first huge movie I saw him in.
Yeah, I think so. Well, High Fidelity was before this.
Oh, High Fidelity,
and it was really popping then, because it was so funny. Like, I saw him in Bob Roberts. He played like a disciple, like a brainwashed disciple, and then he was on Mr. Show.
Yes,
in bit parts.
That was one of those things where I never made that connection, but then when I watched Mr. Show, I was like, oh shit, there's Jack Black. Oh shit, there's PFT. Oh shit, there's Brian Posehn.
Yeah, it was like those things where, when you started seeing Steve Buscemi and stuff, you're like, I don't know that guy's name, but I like him.
Yeah.
And it was the same with Jack Black. You're like, oh, this guy's in High Fidelity. Cool. I don't know his name. And then I think this film was the one that just blew up.
Oh, yeah. High Fidelity. I can't believe I forgot on that one. He's so fucking good in that. Obviously, that movie is like, it's an amazing movie all around, but it's such a fucking low-key vehicle for him, too. That's so cool.
Well, it's so funny because at the video store, there was definitely a period where people had, there was a Jack Black, backlash. Jack Black backlash. Backlash.
A Jack Blacklash.
Yes, exactly. Where, he was in, what was it?
Saving Silverman. Saving Silverman, too. Him and Steve Zahn are the two crazy cronies.
Right.
So good.
So it's like Shallow Hal Year 1, Kung Fu Panda 3, Big Year, and it's like people aren't necessarily getting a film with him in it. I just saw it at the store, there was just no interest. But I will tell you, and I told you this off air, I was on a plane recently watching School of Rock on my computer, and then across the way, someone was watching the new Minecraft movie. So I was watching Jack Black, years ago, decades ago, and then now, and I was like, I just watched Minecraft over someone's shoulder because I didn't know what was going on. He's so captivating. He's such a star. I mean, it's like what he can do with like a little finger move, and he's never dead behind the eyes. Like, he gives it all, and I'm like, oh yeah, it seems like he's just, come back and just been so beloved by like a whole new generation.
Yeah, it's amazing. He really is a star. I think Minecraft's a really funny choice to say. I took my two ADHD rattled nephews who are like 9 and 7 to go see that movie in the theater, and they don't really go to the theater, but Uncle Nani does.
Right.
So I'm like, I want to take you guys to AMC, and I told my brother I'd treat, so that made some say yes.
Uh-huh.
And then we go and we sit down, and I'm like, this is going to be hard for these kids. They like Minecraft, but they just don't. They're like, their brains are, fried, like little kid brains. Jack Black comes on screen. They are absolutely captivated. They turn to me and go, Uncle Nani, he's you. And I'm like, yeah, pretty similar. And then 20 minutes later, fucking Jason Momoa comes out, but he's dressed in like pink and like all like weird and stuff.
Yeah.
And then my nephews lean over and go, Uncle Nani, that's also you. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, that's a big compliment, boys. Thank you. Both of them are compliments. They made it almost all the way through, and I think it's truly a testament to Jack's performance. Like, he is, I don't give a fuck about Minecraft. The movie is like it's like the movie is like watching a fucking mobile ad, but he is good in it.
He's really good in it. I watched it afterwards, and just because I was like, I think I kind of want to see this, and he's alone in the film for like 15 minutes at the top.
Yeah,
it's just
and you're just
him.
Into it. Yeah. Oh,
yeah, it's amazing.
He's got the fucking juice.
Yeah, I think also you mentioned, those films that were about a teacher inspiring kids and how that's kind of like a missing thing generationally now. I mean, like we grew up with all those films that were like, we're going to get the wisdom. And one of the things that I was reading about was that this was really cold when they made this film. Like it was upstate New York.
The movie is pretty gray background. Like it does feel like very, it does feel a touch bleak.
Yeah. It's like there's no leaves on the trees. When they're outside, you can see the steam on their breath. But I think it fits kind of the trope then, because it fits the world. Like you're like, okay, this isn't like LA where like kids have access maybe to, like you said, the cool uncle, or somebody who just shreds or whatever. Like these kids are kind of sheltered. They're in this private school. It looks, it fits the part.
It also lowers the, not the stakes, but it also makes Dewey wanting to make it as a rock and roll star, but coming from upstate New York is like, it adds these layers to the movie where it's like, it shrinks the stakes in an interesting way. It's not like now he's got a record deal. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that like, I like that about the movie too, where, it lives in this like small world, and it's like, winning the Battle of the Bands, they don't even win. Like just performing at the Battle, getting to do an encore at the Battle of the Bands is like the third act denouement. You're like, that's so. The big resolution is they launch School of Rock. They launch a music school, and I'm like, that's fucking gorgeous. That there's no real villains. Like it's very cool in that way.
Yeah, no, and I just like that it's still kind of weird. Like for whatever reason I like. I'll say I love Mike White as an actor.
Oh, he's so freaking charming.
Yeah.
He's so charming.
And he's just like so weird and goofy and just believable. And I just like, when he's trying to convince them, like, you're the cross-dressing, blood-sucking incubus, from Megadeth. And he's like, no, I'm not a satanic sex god anymore. I'm a working stiff. And that's cool.
I love
like
that.
The delivery is just, like, I wish, like, there was a spinoff of the two of them, like, just, them just doing School of Rock.
Launching that band, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And Mike White is so capable of so much random shit. Like, he's written a few of the Jack Black movies that are, like, interesting, but also, like you said, White Lotus is now what he's probably most known for. But when he made Enlightened back in the day, shit was like, that show is fucking difficult and amazing.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you're like, oh, they're gonna make a second season. I think that's the thing that surprises me is like, its stuff can be very punishing, but people are like, but I kind of want more.
Yeah, it's like it's a clear fucking like feather in his cap. He should be a feather in his cap. Where it's like, I can't believe I want to watch this more. And then when you see him, he's so charming, but he can make such fucking grating comedy that like upsets you.
It's also amazing that he was like on reality TV.
He was on Survivor. Yeah.
It's just like, what? Like if I ever like, I would lose that bet a million times. Right. Like even if he was on Survivor, they're like, do you think he'd do Amazing Race? They're like, no, it's just a one-off. Like, no, but he did it twice. I'd be like, oh, I lost the bet again.
That's got to be so fun to be that level of like kind of famous where you're like, I kind of want to do this. I mean, he did Survivor before he was like really famous, which is kind of crazy. Yeah. And like, it's hard to, for a TV creator to become famous. But I do think White Lotus has done that for him now. Since there's no like major recurring actors and stuff, it gets pinned to Mike White rather than like the John Hamm show or whatever. It's Mike White's show, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely.
And I love it. And I think it's the first season was the best, but I'm still enjoying every season. I'll watch them all forever, and I'll beg to eventually be cast in it. And of course, if I know my luck, the season I do it, it'll be like they're shooting at a Dallas fucking Marriott or something like that. I'm like, oh, I missed the fucking Mexico, Hawaii, Thailand series. Oh, great.
They're like, yeah, and we got Jack Black and Adam Pally to be in it. You're like, fuck.
I could have killed you.
Were you in bands?
No, I have zero musical ability. Like truly,
Okay.
And not in like the way where people are like, I'm actually kind of not good at music. I can't clap to a rhythm. I can't sing. I'm tone deaf. I don't know the lyrics. I think there's something wrong with like my hearing. Like I know, like I think music doesn't land on me because I know like lines in all my favorite movies, but I don't know lyrics to all my favorite songs. Like they don't stick in my head that way.
Yeah.
I enjoy music thoroughly, but I just have no skill to it. And I think that's part of why I've always been impressed by it. Obviously, like there's no like seeing the scaffolding, or there's no like I just enjoy watching musical performances. Where I'm like, or listening to me. I'm like, but I can't do it at all. And then when like one of my random comedy friends, and like Adam's a great example of this. He just did a comedy special for HBO Max, which is mostly somehow a concert. And like there's just some element where I'm like, fuck, you can also do this, and it like annoys me,
Right.
And then there's also, of course, there's musicians who are low-key like funny, and you're like, oh fuck, of course you can do both of these things. But it's always impressed me, and it's always, because to me it's like fucking magic. It's like knowing how to do magic, where I'm like, I don't know how they did that, but I'm impressed. And like,
yeah,
I can't. I've toyed with the idea of like taking piano lessons or taking voice lessons just to like challenge myself to like, and I think I intend to do it just because I'm at this like phase in my middle age where I'm like, I gotta just try everything.
Right.
And like the idea of like, I'm a performer because I got asked to audition for the School of Rock musical because of my similarities to Jack Black on Broadway.
Okay.
And I also was previously asked to audition for Book of Mormon because of my similarities to Josh Gad, I think. And both times I was like, I cannot sing at all. And they're like, it's not really like a real singing role. And I was like, no. I can't even do like don't worry, you don't have to have pipes role. I can't even do that. I can't even like speak in the musical theater voice of like that. I can't keep a rhythm. But I'm like, I think this is something I should learn, and not because I'm like, I'll finally be on Broadway, but because I think it'll make me, you're only as strong as your weakest link. And, how much, I don't need to bench press 315 anymore, but maybe like I could spend some of that time just learning how my voice works. Or I always like the idea of playing the piano too, because it seems like the coolest instrument, and I really like synthy type stuff. So having that to roll in. What instruments do you play?
Guitar, bass, and keyboards. I can't drum at all, and I can sing all right, but it's in my northwest nasal key. I mean, I still like, I'll if I see like something like a documentary, like the Bowie documentary, or you go see Paul McCartney live, I'm just like, fuck off. Like, how do you do that? Like, how is this inhuman? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do feel like musicians are obsessed with comedians. Like everyone I know is just like looks at what you do and they're like, I can't do that. I would like to take an improv class, or I've thought of dipping my toe, but I'm nervous. Musicians, comedians, athletes, all three of them want each other's jobs in some way.
Isn't that
There's
wild?
like there's some element where it's like athletes are like, I could be a recording artist, and recording artists are like, I want to be funny banter, and then comedians are like, I wish I could just get up there on stage and rip, and then you also hear musicians who are like, jacked and fitness freaks, and they want to impress you with their athletic ability. Yes. And then it's like those three worlds I find are constantly not attacking each other, but sort of envious, or I think it's because there's some theory to unpack here that all three of those paths are similar in a way, in that you have to really work at something, and you have to at some point have been not good at it. Right. And and it's like learning to get good. And then the other thing that happens with, I think, all three of these paths in life is comedy and music, subjective. I would say athletics is objective, but there are objective, like binary. Did the person laugh?
no, then I didn't do my job.
Right.
Like music, were the people in the crowd enjoying our set? No, then we didn't. Did we lose this game? Did the other guy strike me out? Did the other guy run faster than me? Then I lost. So there's some you can tell kind of in all three of these industries too, of like, they're really good at this.
Right.
You know, even though we're all subjective, it's art, it's this, but that person is better than I am. And there's like this granted, like music and comedy get kind of roped up into like privilege, timing, opportunity, fucking gatekeepers. But there is a light meritocracy to all three that I think is partial to it. And it's competitive. Frequently, music more and sports more. It's a team thing, and so there's like a lot of like parallels that I think. Because you're 100% right. Every musician I meet wants to riff comedy with me. Every athlete wants to riff comedy. Every athlete wants to be like sit at the drums. Every drummer has a funny joke they want to do. Like, and it's and music and comedy and athletics are arguably all also performances. You know, and it's like there's a time when you have to do your performance. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Jon Gabrus, or all right, put your hands together for Guided by Voices, or hey, the first quarter has begun. All three of those times, you have to be ready for that day, for that moment. You have to rise to that moment because that's when the audience is there, the opponent is there, your teammates, your bandmates, and it's like there's something powerful about like I'm like no one says like I was super funny this afternoon in my apartment, right? Like, but an author, a writer or something like that, they could be like, make all these great movements, or a painter, they could do all this stuff on their own. All three of and like you could set PRs in the gym, but all three of our jobs require people to see it, or, at least an opponent or a fellow bandmate or something like that. They all arguably require an audience. Like you can play music alone, you could do comedy alone, you can compete alone, but it all requires an audience. That we're all performative in a way.
I'm always fascinated with flowcharts like this because the other thing that I feel like is I don't know, maybe this. I feel like there's some truth in this, is that musicians can become actors, but actors can't become musicians. And now comedians have been allowed to be musicians. Like I've seen so many like comedians make like really serious records in the last couple of years at my brother's record store. I'm like, it's just really wild.
Yeah, and I think also the pandemic broke a lot of comedians because you can like jam on your guitar at home, but you can't like hear laughs at home.
Yeah,
because I think like we see a proliferation of like, there's the middle-aged dad jam band that like David Wayne and Ken Marino started doing, and now they're touring that. You know what I mean? And like that's fucking crazy. They were touring as the State like 40 years ago, then 30 years ago. Then they started touring as the State again 10 years ago, and now they're touring. Half of them are touring as a band. Yeah, and it's like that's fucking crazy. There's the goddamn Comedy Jam, which is like that live band karaoke that comedians do. That's like a big show out here, and you just see that more and more. And yes, musicians can jump to actors, comedians can jump to actors. Athletes can jump to actors. You hear athletes dropping albums, maybe more in the hip hop realm, but and it's like it's such a fucking like weird. It's such a weird game we're all playing, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I love when you hear like I like when you hear like someone's like, oh, this comedian's actually pretty good at music, or this musician's pretty good at comedy. Yeah. But then I start to get mad when the musician starts doing too much comedy, or the comedian starts doing too much music. We call this the John Mayer paradox. Where you're like, get the fuck out of here. You go be a handsome musician.
In the 70s and 80s, I wasn't like going to see Wings and hearing them crack me up, or it's just like, or Husker Du, like there was just a lack of banter. And then I feel like in the 90s, like people started just like being kind of like off key, sardonic or funny. And now I feel like every band is just like, we also got to have some good material in between songs. It's so weird.
Yeah. And I wonder, because there's like some, there's some marketability stuff in there where you're like, I want them to know who we are as people, not just our records. And like, but then there's also like frequently if you're the front person to a band, like you have some fucking showmanship, personship, you know? So like, you're like, because I just saw, you mentioned seeing McCartney on a smaller scale. I saw LCD Sound System and Pulp here at the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
I've seen LCD a handful of times before. I've seen Jarvis Cocker solo,
right?
But this is the first time I saw Pulp play. And how old is Jarvis? He's late 50s, early 60s?
Yeah, it's amazing. He started so long ago. It's crazy.
He's so good live. He's so magnetic. He did this thing where he's like, oh, I hope you don't mind if I try to catch a grape. It's always a good omen if I catch a grape. And he like throws a grape up and catches it in his mouth, and the crowd goes like fucking electric. And I'm like, and he's just like in a t-shirt and jeans, and he's like, this one makes me want to dance. And I'm like, this is so fucking awesome.
Yeah. Well, and he was playing against type early on, you know, when I had Mark from Pulp on the show. And he was, you know, he started before he was a guitar player in the band. He would just help them put these rickety live shows together with TV sets wrapped in tinfoil and toilet paper rolls everywhere. And they were not hitting an audience for the first, 5 to 6 years. Like, people were just not interested in what they were giving. And but I love that he stuck with like kind of the drama and the comedy of it and the darkness of it, because it's just like when he walks out on stage again. That was Hollywood Bowl, right?
That was awesome.
Man.
It was really fun because I like going to those like generational style bands where like I saw LCD Sound System and Yeah Yeah Yeahs like 2 years ago at the Bowl, and you could really profile the crowd.
Yeah, sure.
There was a new tier of like, oh, I'm 43. There are people 10 years older than me because Pulp just sucks a little older dudes over, and like their styles are just a touch different than but everyone's rock adjacent. Everyone's thick frame glasses, cheeky jackets, and jeans and boots or chucks or whatever. But it was really funny to see the delineation of like, oh, they're here, and of course, like any generational bands like that, love seeing the like slew of 20-somethings who know all the songs. Like, it's like that's always so fucking rad. I'm like not a gatekeeper at all. When young people are into something I was into, I think that is like the fucking cool. I'm like, yes,
absolutely.
Weezer should still have fans.
Yeah, Like, they're amazing. Pulp is like one of the greatest bands of all time, and it's like, yeah, please fill the seats. I don't care how old you are. I went to When We Were Young in Vegas, and the headliners were Blink-182 and Panic at the Disco. I don't really listen to either of those bands, but I grew up alongside everyone who listened to Blink. But there, Avril Lavigne performed, and there were like 10-year-old girls with like the noise-canceling headphones that knew every word to the Avril Lavigne songs, and I'm like, maybe it's their parents. This fucking rules. But like to get into that, like that's so fucking cool. And like kids singing Weezer, and when Blink-182 comes on stage, they are doing jokes about like, that's what I said to your mom last night. And I'm like, Mark Hoppus is like a grandfather, and he's saying, and they're saying corny shit, and it was so fun to watch like 20-year-olds go apeshit for it, and then like see a bunch of 40 and 50-year-olds sitting down at a music festival, like on the ground. Like, I saw Devo recently, same thing. It's like, it's the age spectrum is massive, but I do think that, when I was growing up, I had cool parents who were like, they were normal parents, but their tastes were cool. So I was trying to rebel against my parents liking Robert Fripp and Laurie Anderson. I was like, oh, the slow, oh God, let me put on my squiggly record of Walla Voodoo, and it's so funny, but I do feel like, my daughter, the other day she was telling me like, oh, do you know, Rick Wakeman's like new wave record. And I'm like, what? Like, how do you know? Like, why do you know about Rick Wakeman's new wave record? It's just like, and I just think, it's just, she's discovering things, with people doing video essays and all this stuff. But I think it's great. I love that.
It's so cool.
It used to be like, if a band was, coming around, you'd be like, they've been around a long time. It's kind of seems kind of sad. They're playing a smaller club. Now it's like legacy is incredible. Like that, I went and saw Cheap Trick like 4 months ago. I'm like, thank God I can still go see Cheap Trick. It's amazing.
Yeah. I'm going to see Wang Chung tonight when I get off.
Oh my God. Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to set you up perfectly.
They're playing this live score accompaniment to Live and Die in L.A. They're playing the full album. Yeah,
God.
Here in L.A. I'm so stoked. It's so in my wheelhouse. Action movie and music. It's all. Yeah.
Oh my God. Only Portland's great, but everyone in LA is like, oh, did you hear what I did this weekend? I'm like, what?
Yeah, I forget. You get caught up in how much LA sucks every once in a while, and then you find yourself at the Hollywood Bowl or at a rooftop screening of Predator or whatever. Right. And you're like, okay, there's some cool shit going on here. The city's love of movies outside of the industry of just like the repertory theaters. I saw Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair, like a 4.5 hour movie experience in the theater. I went and saw The Brutalist on Christmas Day, and the theater was filled. God. And I'm like, this is just what I like about this fucking city.
That's amazing,
riffs, dude. Yeah.
So I do want to ask you a question about Dewey as a teacher, because he is coming in and, he's the weird teacher. Becomes the cool teacher. Did you ever have a cool elementary school teacher?
I don't think I ever had cool teachers when I was young. I had some high school teachers. You know what? I had a teacher this would be 7th grade art, Mr. G. I'll shout out Mr. Giordano. He fostered just letting you be weird. He was probably now I'm not going to like out him like Kevin Kline in and out, but like he was definitely, he was a teacher with an earring and like a little like little blonde streak in his hair. And I had long hair because it was 1994. I had like grunge hair. And he brushed it. We're fucking around, like adding hairspray and brushing my hair up. So it was like a huge flat top. And then I like got in trouble and he like went to bat for me. He's like, we got to let these kids express themselves.
Oh, that's killer.
And it was like, I cannot draw. I am not good at art. I love it. And I would, take enough credits of art in college to graduate with a studio art minor.
Right. Okay.
But it's all because of Mr. G, because I just realized like the artists are the people who are cool and interesting. And I'm from Long Island, where it's like saying the word artist, you might as well come out as gay in like the 90s. Like just like my family thought I was gay because the way I loved movies. And it's like, and I was like, I have a girlfriend. That shit doesn't matter. Anyone can get a girlfriend. But it was like, so having a cool teacher and then I would have a couple more in high school. Like I have one teacher in high school who like knew I was smart and like liked movies and would talk to me like an equal. Mm-hmm. And then in college, I had this one writing professor for one semester who felt like, in hindsight, now that I've seen way more TV and movies, felt like an absolute movie character, because he just was like, clearly an adjunct professor was trying to write his own books, but he was like, yeah, one night I had too many Heinekens in a joint and I thought I saw a ghost and I panicked. And like and I'm like, oh, this is so cool that you can talk like this. And I always thought it was so annoying that there was like this like conceit that we can't be real with each other, even with like grown-ups when we were kids. Yeah. I think it seems a little different now. Not like, I know I live in LA and my friends are all like hipster fucking woke people with kids. So like, but I remember just being like, why won't they? I'm smart. Like, why won't they just talk to me like I'm smart? Why is it so condescending? Why is me asking this question about something like frustrating them and not like saying like, why aren't they going like, well, that's interesting that you, and I think that's part of what I like about this movie too, is that I really am, of course, and this is hyper specific to me, but I love that moment with Tamika when he's like, Aretha Franklin was big, but when she's singing, no one knows her size. You know who else they call chubby? me. And it's like, but why? It's like, because I like to eat and I'm not going to stop that anytime soon. And it was just like, I love just talking to kids like that. And I don't have kids, so I could be wrong, but I love that. And like, that's what kids need in school more than times tables and shit like that. They need like self-actualization and validation and like, support. And it's like seeing that in this movie. And also the idea that like the movie world is looking at Jack Black. Most of the characters looking at him as making the wrong choice.
Right.
Even, and then, but for us, like watching it, you're like, this is more important than anything these kids are going to learn in fourth grade.
Right.
They're 10 years old. That's like third grade, fourth grade. This battle of the bands, this learning music, that's going to be more important than any of the fucking, with the exception of maybe like writing. Like that might be it. But that's part of music. And so like you're watching this and you're like, as like a fucking old art guy, you're like, yes, these kids are going to be so much better off in life than the rest of their classmates at this stuffy, stodgy little private institution they all go to.
Yeah, it's funny because even in real life, there were some parallels. I guess the character who played Lawrence, Mr. Cool, the keyboardist, was a lot of the kids could play in this movie. They're like real musicians.
It looks like that the guitarist kid is really shredding.
Yeah, and he was like, I'm not good enough to be in this movie. I'm not an actor, which is basically what happens in the movie where he goes to Jack Black, to Dewey, and being like, I'm not good enough to be in this band. The scene where he just teaches them so innocently, like, this is hit the chord, now raise your arm like a goblet, like you're to the gods of rock. Now make your eyes crazy. Good. I'm like, nailed it. I'm like, it's like
so fun. It's so and it's funny because I think in the generations before this movie, like rock was like rebellion and revolutionary. But then in like the 90s and 2000s, rock, like that kind of classic rock was like corny and from dads and like, and like on only heard on the radio or in like dumb beer commercials. But then like Dewey infuses the kids with like what this meant when it came out, of like, no, it doesn't matter as long as we're rocking. And like, that's such a fun attitude to like instill in kids of like, I'm more involved like with my nephew's athletics than I like. And it's like when you just see like, when you're like, it doesn't matter if you win or lose. Did you guys have a rip in time up there? Was that one of the best hits you've ever had in baseball? Those are the memories. Like you're going to play millions of games in your life. And like getting to like say like get joy from the moment where you raise your pick to the God. It doesn't matter that we win or lose or something like that. It's such, I guess TLDR is the message that Dewey's instilling in these kids, like I arguably need to hear too. And like watching this movie, I was like, yes, I'm in comedy to make people laugh, not to like get on this sitcom or this guy's funnier than me, or I can't believe they got this and I didn't. It's like, I got an ear to laugh. Let me go out there and make some fucking people laugh. Raise a goblet to the gods of comedy and, let's go.
Well, and also it's still, I think, true that parents are often the thing that makes it not fun for the kid,
Right.
It's like you go to a sports thing and it's like you watch kids do it and there are still parents who's like, fuck, like they're pissed that someone blew the game, and you're like,
and it's like my son has anxiety. It's like, I know how he got it. Like
exactly.
I watched you two watch him, or I watch you two talk to him after every at bat. Like, I don't know if that's the right move, people.
Yeah. So it was, I guess in this film, they separated the parents of the kids off the set because they were like, we can have them near, but we don't want this feeling that like the kids are like feeling uncomfortable, because Jack Black said that the worst performance he ever did was in front of his parents. He just said it was bad. Have you ever had to perform for your folks?
Yeah. I've had to, because I performed in New York for so long, New York City, and my family lives on Long Island. It's not impossible it's pretty easy to get from there. My parents both, crazy, had to work all the time, and are in hindsight, now that I'm grown up and learning, more self-centered than you're supposed to be, I think, as a parent. And I am like, so they were there sometimes, infrequently, but sometimes. But I benefited from, like, I never really wanted my parents there, not because I'm like, I'm going to perform bad, but because like of the before and after of it all. Like, I don't want to engage with them. Like, they aren't, especially in my 20s, they weren't like what I'd be like, oh, thank God I can talk to my mom and dad after this comedy show. You know, it's like, I'm like, I don't fucking want to deal with you guys based on the last 15 years of my life.
Right.
But I was never had like the, ew, they're going to think I'm crazy, because my persona was, I'm kind of always like this, even at home and as a kid. So like my mom coming to see my show now and me talking about like unable to get my erection or whatever, she like that doesn't drive. She'll just go, Jonathan, geez, why are you talking about all that nasty stuff? But she knows me, so it's not like, but I'd rather, the other thing is, if my mom comes to a show of mine, it's about her. She's like, well, what do you mean you can't grab dinner before? I'm like, this is my job. Right. Just let me do it how I do it. And I'm like, I'm honored that you want to come to my show, but if you need like hand holding before and after and like texting me like, well, your aunt wants to come now, can you get me an extra ticket? Like, to do all that is gives me a lot of extra effort that I wouldn't normally have in my job. And I'd love to help you out, but you have to understand, you're going into the city and having dinner and seeing a show. I'm fucking doing my job. And it's like, there's a disconnect there, you know, where it's like your silly little comedy show. I'm like, no, it was very hard to get 150 people to sit in the Bell House and watch this dumbass fucking thing I'm doing. Yeah. And so like, there's like that element to it, but I never feel like the pressure of them being there. I'm also pretty good at wiping the audience out of my mind, you know, and like getting into flow state, the zone, whatever, vibing, whatever people call it these days. But I can be in a pocket where I'm like, I'm hearing the laughter and I'm riding those waves, but I'm not noticing bad people. I'm noticing super attractive people, and that's about it.
Well, how long did it get to find a zone like that?
I think a lot of fun, a lot of it came from in doing long form improv, like group improv. You also, back in the day, and still to this day, I still do it, but you would rehearse for just like a director or just a coach, or like, you know, I think ostensibly it would be like jamming in a fucking studio with your producer and being like, oh, okay, when we play it live, maybe just do. So you get used to not needing the reaction, but you start to gain that confidence of like, well, I'm sitting here making fucking Dominic Durkis laugh. I'm making Ellie Kemper laugh. She's making me laugh. We know that we got something going. And like, then you start to just build that confidence where eventually, like, you know what I mean? Like if you're playing fucking guitar in a band, but you're crushing it in rehearsal after rehearsal, you can go out on stage and like, you don't need them. It feels great when they go off, but you don't need them to like, you know, you're not thinking about them. You're just like, oh fuck, I know what I got to do here.
No, I know
like,
what you mean. Yeah.
It's like a power. It does take a while to get there, but when you're there, it feels powerful. And then I can tell when I'm like not in the best headspace, when I'm too concerned with the audience of like, are they even liking this? You know what I mean? I'll end up making comments about it and shit, but it is one of those things where I know I'm not cruising at that point. There's something choppy in my, check engine light is on if I'm doing that.
Sure. One of the things that I saw on the DVD of this was Jack Black begging Led Zepplin to let them use the Immigrant Song, because this was the era in the early 2000s where you didn't sell your music yet to stuff. It was considered bad form, like you're a sellout, our stuff. And now it's just like you hear Led Zeppelin stuff and commercials all over. You hear everyone. It's like a badge of honor if you get a song in a commercial now. But like, in my bands in the early 90s, we'd get asked when we were on Sub Pop to do something, and we'd be like, we can't. It's career suicide. Like, our audience would kill us. We'd be sellouts. But it's great because they do it at the when they have the live audience at the finale, and he's just like, Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, John Paul Jones, the gods of rock, the greatest rock band of all time. We need your song, man. We need the Immigrant Song. This is a movie about rock. Without that song, this movie will crumble into smithereens. Oh no, the movie kicks ass, but dude, your song would be the hard rocking cherry on top of the mountains. And it's just like they did it. They sent this tape off,
so cool.
And they were charmed by it, which is killer.
I can talk for an hour and a half about the transition from don't sell out to get your bag. And I think not selling out is, I think we need more of that back. If I'm being, I think we need a little bit more of that attitude back from artists and actors and everyone. But I think we've got to the point where we're like, Ryan Reynolds, his stock options are through the roof. Hell yeah. I love that. Oh, dude. Oh, you think Timothée Chalamet is a good actor? Well, this movie made $9 billion. And you're like, I don't care about that. I'm talking about the art of it. Yeah. But I also know this is what pisses me off. Because when you watch a commercial and it's Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey in a commercial, by the way, not fucking selling AI. It's like, shut the fuck up. Get out of here. But it's like, when it's J-Lo selling Amex, you're like, that could be a young woman actor who's raw in the game, who could feed her family for several months and get health insurance off of that job. And Amex can save $1 million. And or the production company can save $1 million. Everything became so celebrity cultured, and there's no. I think The Rock and some of these people suffered from it, but there was no backlash to how much these people could do.
It's weird.
And it's like, I've said the names, Ryan Reynolds, and arguably I think Jack Black suffered from that for a little while. I think he figured it out and bounced back, did some. But a lot of these people, you're like, I go back to not every biggest song ever needs to be in a commercial. As a matter of fact, find that song that's from a band that's unknown and make their fucking pockets, make that. What was the fuck. It was like a Volkswagen commercial. It was like da da da.
Oh yeah, Trio.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like no one knew that song before that commercial. And that's like fucking. That's the move. Or if it's like you're selling a whip and you want to get Devo's Whip It, that makes sense. Or you know what I mean? There's moments
whip sales.
I think like a big sellout moment is in Thor Ragnarok. Immigrant Song is in that.
Yes.
But it's about an alien who's immigrating and he rocks, and it's like he's a god of thunder. Right. It's like, okay, you can sell me on Led Zeppelin teaming up with Marvel. You know what I mean? Like, I get it.
Yeah, more than a car. Yeah, no, it's weird. And also, I've never been like, well, Woody Harrelson's cool. I think I maybe check this AI thing. It's just like, I'm like, how does this resonate with anyone? It blows my mind.
Yeah, it's all fucking like behind the scenes creating shareholder value. It's like it doesn't matter if it links to more people, but it's about getting the articles written about Woody Harrelson in new ad, blah blah blah. Like The Rock has his own tequila. It's like Ryan Reynolds launches production company that makes non-union commercials. You're like, why is this cool? Like why is that also, why is that what these and this is like a whole nother thing to unpack. Forget that fans and audience and consumers are okay with it, arguably push for it. Forget that the buyers and the top dogs want that. Why if you are a film actor, that doesn't need money?
Yeah.
Why is this what you want to do? Like, how much money can people? And this is where I get into I put my tinfoil hat on for a second here.
Go for it. It looks good.
Thank you. Yeah, it does interfere with my H6 a little bit, so let me know if the audio changes. Yeah, I'm gonna rock this tonight. I'm gonna be wearing the Willem Dafoe kimono from the fucking money laundering scene, like kabuki makeup and shit.
We'll put that tinfoil hat on. What do you got?
What does the 1% know about the future? Why does it seem like everyone is hoarding as much money as possible? No. And again, I'm sorry if people who listen to me on other podcasts, but I rail about this. The Sackler family were fucking monsters. They built an entire empire off opioids, but they also put wings in museums. No rich people have to do that shit anymore.
Right.
We just root for them. We're just happy that they're rich. You used to have to like launder your reputation with some positive givebacks to the community.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And now they don't fucking do anything like that. They just reinvest their money. And now they go on podcasts, something I do for a living.
I know.
Now they go on podcasts and just juice, and podcasters interviewers, hosts, they just like fucking launder their reputations and their choices, and like being a billionaire is cool because Mark Zuckerberg also does jujitsu. It's like, fuck all you guys. Just don't. Why do you want to do this with your time? Yeah. Like if I had $1 billion, no one would ever see me again. Right. Like I would have no desire. I love comedy. I love performing for people, but you would not catch me out there hustling. So I would not launch another company. I would just go to like a money manager. I'm like, I just want to be rich for the rest of my life, and everyone that I love to also be okay.
Yeah,
make that happen.
Right.
I'll live below the means. I don't care. And it's like, how do you get $1 billion and then go like, I gotta buy this thing and launder my reputation? Like, it just drives me fucking crazy. It's the wrong attitude. I know we started talking about artists selling out, but I do think it's like all under this same fucked up capitalism umbrella.
No, it's totally confusing to me too, because the thing is that's kind of intense about it is the applaud it gets, from the world. That to me blows my mind more than the people doing it. Sometimes it's just like people are like, I don't know if it's just that people have this thing where they're like, well, maybe it'll happen to me. Maybe I'll be.
It's that. It's because I've been calling it "get your bag" culture. You're just like so excited someone's getting their bag, and then you're like, someday I'll just be able to say buy aviation gin and get $1,000 paycheck. Whatever the version, right. And everyone's like hoping for that because things are getting desperate financially for a lot of people. Sure. And so everything's got to be this quick fix. Like, no kid wants to be a teacher, an astronaut, or a nurse. They all want to be YouTubers now. And it's just like, and I get it. If you grew up in a certain place, you want to be an actor, you want to be a musician, you want to be a comedian. YouTuber is that to these kids, but YouTuber relies on like direct like there's just, it's getting, people like want to be in commercials, like, which is like, no, you used to just have to do it to get paid. This is coming from a guy who did a Wayfair commercial this year, but I needed money. I needed health insurance. There's a lot.
Right. You're like, give me a Dorito commercial, give me I'll be the Cheerio bee, whatever. But yeah.
And then you watch a Super Bowl and it's like every single person, like Willem Dafoe's in an ad, this guy's in an ad. And I'm like, yeah, what do you need this money for? And why do the creators want you? Like, find the next Willem Dafoe. And that trickles all down to like every other art form where it's like, we don't all have to, the movies don't all have to have The Rock, Kevin Hart, and Jack Black in them. We can like shake it up. There are other people of their types that are good. Now, that all being said, that's reminding me that Jack Black's fantastic in the Jumanji reboot also.
Yes.
He switches personalities and he gets
to
be
with
like
my kid.
Yeah, yep. He's doing like the young girl and he does it so fucking well.
Yeah, he's one of the best physical comedians of all time.
Fuck yeah. And still at like however old he is, he still fucking moves and grooves like crazy.
Yeah, that was the thing when I was watching on the plane, him do so much with just his fingers, moving his fingers.
Yeah.
And he does it a lot in this film too. He'll put his finger up to his mouth, he'll move it. It's just like a lot of hand work.
Yeah.
But it's just like, yeah, when he like wants to throw his hand down to the ground and have something happen, it's just like, yeah, there's a beautiful force in what he does. And I could get why people were like, oh, I've had enough. I'm full of Jack Black, because he came at it 1,000%. Like, it was like, that's the energy. But it's also like, I think through Tenacious D and other things, it's just like he just was like, this is me. You know what I mean? Like, he's hired to be himself.
Right. This is what he was like on stage. This is what he was like. One of my favorite things that Jack Black does is like the mouth guitar and piano and bass licks. And this movie has that great moment where he's running around getting everyone to play that. He's like, all right, so I need you to hit me with and he's like, and you over here, I need the, and I could watch him do that as a matter of fact, right here, Chris, let's make a film that is Jack Black going around to an entire orchestra and I would watch unbroken wide shot of 90 minutes of Jack going to each individual musician. Okay, oboes, I need you to hit me with the all right, drums, I need the I could do that all. He's so fucking magnetic. I could watch that all day long. But he's like, no, I need you to take that little bass for a walk with a little dung 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 dung. I could watch that shit. There's like a viral clip that goes around of him every once in a while. He's done it live. He's done it at Fallon, but he has that little like Fisher Price saxophone, and he plays, and it's so fucking. I'm like, and he does like all this stuff where he like wipes it down and he's like playing it like it's a real reed and stuff, and it's so cool and it's so funny and it's so committed, and you're like, and then when you like zoom out and realize what's going on is he's got a toy and he's playing with the toy and he's just making it. He's making such a meal of it. Oh, he's the fucking best, man.
Yeah, it's amazing. I guess the shot where he's talking about the song and it's like one long shot being, it's a tracking shot being pulled back. He was begging Mike White, cut away to the kids, do something. And Mike White was just basically let Richard do this as one take. And it's so good because the weight of having to carry this film, he said, that he was nervous to work with kids.
Right.
And he also originally was going to write the music and then he chickened out. He was like, it's too much work. And so I think there was a lot of nervousness. Like, is this for kids? Is it for adults? Like, who's going to like it? What's the deal?
Yeah.
And
it's not his wheelhouse. Like, he'll eventually get into 4-quadrant comedy, but like at this time, it's like, he's like, Tenacious D's playing fucking late night sets around LA. You know what I mean? And like,
yeah,
he's just popping off as like an actor, but his style of comedy is not necessarily for children, but he has childlike wonder and childlike mannerisms that fit. And then this movie is like a great watch it with your kids movie. Like, it's so fucking, man.
I want to ask you, because in the film, this is, I'm always fascinated with films about bands. Every band
you made a whole
in the movie,
podcast about it.
I know. But they always have a pre-show ritual, like a prayer, a thing that they all do every time. Do you have anything like that before you perform? Do you have any pre-show rituals?
I probably not. But one thing I like to do is be distant from the venue. Mm-hmm. And walk to it. Like, I like to park kind of far away, or I'll take a hotel over an Uber or something like that. And I like to walk to it. And I have like about 10 songs in rotation that I like to hear as like the last thing before I go on stage. And they're like,
amazing.
They're like, there's a bunch of songs that just really pump me up or make me feel something, and they're all over the place. One of which is Downeaster Alexa, frequently. Queen, Princess of the Universe, the Flash theme song.
Nice.
The Darkness, I Believe in a Thing Called Love. Like, that song just fucking activates me. There's a few more. The Mariners song by, I forget the band is slipping from my mind right now. Trying to pull all these off the dome. Regulate, Warren G and Nate Dogg. Like, there's 10 songs that I'm like, depending on the vibe I'm feeling, and if I'm running late or something, it's like it's blasting in the car as I like rip into wherever I gotta go. But frequently I like to park and just get like one, a quarter mile, half mile, even or further if I have the time, of just like I'm cruising to the show, and it's like I'm not in the car, I'm not in traffic, and I'm changing from real life Gabrus to performance Gabrus.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Did you have a pre-show ritual personally or with any of your groups?
Well, I got it by voices. It was called getting drunk.
Yeah. I mean, I guess in my 20s, it was the pre-show ritual was 3 PBRs with your boys.
Yeah, it was like Bob was always funny. He'd be like, "Okay, we'll start drinking at 8," and then you're just in the club board. He's like, all right, let's start.
Yeah, right.
And then it just depended on where we were, what we'd eaten, how long the set was. Oh my God, it was a magnificent mess. Some
of the artistic masters will tell you that's the right move.
Yes,
the right pre-show ritual is a little bit of booze. I mean, you've lived a life that is admirable to me. You were in a band I liked, which is specifically hyper personal for GBV. Yeah, you're still alive, and then you owned a video store. That's like my dream, is to own a video store or like a beach bar. One of those.
It was the greatest. I remember I was so naive when I opened the video store. that I was like, oh, it'll be great. I'll be able to sit around with a guitar and write songs when it's slow. It was never slow.
Hell yeah.
I was like, you have a business. But it was a really naive thing to do. And I loved it so much.
What was the name of it?
It was just called Clinton Street Video.
Oh, hell
I've been in so many bands. I was just like, I'm tired of naming things.
Yeah.
At Clinton Street. It just, everybody knows where it is.
Guided by VHS would be kind of a fun.
Yeah. Oh God, I fucked up. I'd still be in business. Oh my God.
Well, hey, if you ever decide to open up another video store in Portland and need some angel investors / employees / influencers, let me know. I would be I I'll move. I don't fucking care. I need a retirement plan that involves making no money. I met Jack Black a couple of times. One time I played his stunt double he hosted the Spike TV Video Game Awards when I was a writer. And we did a thing where I came out, we wore the same outfit. I came out and pretended to be Jack, going like, we'll be right back. Blah, blah, blah. And I was doing like all his mannerisms and being like silly and stuff. And then then a toilet flushes over the PA and he comes running out like, okay, John, okay, I'm here now. Let's get lost, bud, get lost. But backstage in that moment before we went on, I just look over at him and we have the exact same Jack Black like tiger fire shirt on and like weird like flaming jean shorts or whatever. And I look at him and he looks at me and he goes, okay, I see it. You do look a little like me. And then like 15 years after that, we worked together during the strike on a live show. We were raising money for crew. And we were backstage together at one point, and I'm like, Jack, a lot of people tell me I look like you. And he's like, I could see it. And I'm like, and I want to see if you can remember this. And I told him this whole story. And he's like, oh my God, yeah. And I'm like, I was your stunt double. And blah, blah, blah. We were talking about, I say stunt double. He goes, we should remake Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I'll be the Leo role and you be the Brad Pitt role. It'd be fun. We'll be like, and I was like, that would be, tell whoever you want, I'm in. But it was like, I got to see him like twice, 15 years apart, and get to have this conversation that, yeah, we do kind of look a little bit alike. I am like maybe 7 inches taller than him. Other than that, we do look pretty similar.
Well, just get some of that sweet, Woody Harrelson AI on it. And you guys just make it all work. It's all good.
Thanks, Woody. We're really turning around now, bud.
Jon, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was so great to meet you. Longtime fan. It's just I feel a kinship. It's been great. And at the end of every episode, I ask the same question, but I tailor it depending on what we're talking about. So, on a scale from C major being the lowest to F major ninth being the highest, what chord do you give the School of Rock?
Okay, what's one below F major? I don't know the chord progression.
Let's just me either.
Just say F? Because let's just say F. It's not major, but it's F.
Yes, exactly. It's not a major work, but it ain't minor.
No.
F. That's brilliant. I'll take it.
I really love this movie, and I'm so glad. I mean, I love that my career or my hobbies, whatever you want to call this, is, hey, I have to watch School of Rock so I can talk to the interesting person later today about it. It's like, God help me. Like, that's so fucking great that I'm in this pocket. And then, of course, School of Rock, I watch it, and I watched American Movie last night and School of Rock this morning. I am beyond inspired to create. It feels good.
Yes.
I feel like I filled my fucking kettle and I'm ready to fucking pour some fucking delicious, nutritious tea.
Our video store is imminent.
Yes, please.
Everybody stay tuned.
Guided by video. That's even better than guided by VHS. That makes a little more sense.
There we go. Thanks again, Jon. So good to see you.
Thank you, Chris. Bye-bye, bud.
Thank you for listening to Revolutions Per Movie. We release new episodes every Thursday on your favorite podcast app and additional bonus episodes every Sunday on our Patreon. The show is a completely independent affair, so the best way to support the show is through our Patreon at patreon.com/revolutionspermovie, where you can get weekly bonus episodes and shows, exclusive limited edition flexi discs and records and CDs featuring guests that have appeared on the show, and other exclusive goods sent to you just for joining. You can follow us on social media at Revolutions Per Movie and also find out more information about our various guests in the episode show notes. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week. Bye.